with the recommendation of the IG. So most of the pump actions that are in use now are illegally gotten and they are unlawfully being possessed.
Okay, Mr. Owoseni, the last time we spoke, you talked about some arrests that have been made and that they're going to be taken to court. Just bring us up to speed. What's the situation?
I just mentioned that as of today, we had 115 persons arrested that have flouted the anti-open grazing law. And so far, working with the Ministry of Justice of this state, 68 are presently undergoing trial. Some are remanded in prison custody, while some are given bail. And as we move, looking at the file with the Attorney General of the State and Commissioner for Justice, we'll get more people to court. While the people that were arrested in connection with the culpable homicide that are taking place have also been arraigned in court, and the trial is ongoing.
What kind of weapons were you able to obtain from these over 100 people that flouted the law?
In some cases, some would tell you that they don't even know what this law is all about. Which ignorance of the law is not an excuse. That is why the command and the security agencies are collaborating and working assiduously with the state government to give enablement that we make the enforcement of the law easier. Number one, the law also provided that a lot of enlightenment should be made. We are looking at a situation where, apart from the law being enacted, that we have illustrative billboards that as you enter the state, you see a billboard that will depict what the law is all about, so that even somebody that cannot read, the picture will stick to that person. And the large forest that you have that appeared as some government spaces, that you have all these things there, just like you see in some places where you have mines, that you have things that will illustrate the law. But all the same, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. They would feign ignorance, but that has not stopped us from enforcement. And the major challenge, as I told you, you get to a place, you see cows in their hundreds, you are expected to impound the cows, to seize the cows, in order to teach the people lesson. But the enablement, the packing 500, 600 cows to where? To a place that is not been provided for. Where are the lorries? Where are the hands? And the police are not supposed to do that. And that is why
if I may come in here. Well, the question I asked you had to do with weapons. So let me put it this way. Did you arrest or have you arrested anyone with AK-47 rifles, whether farmer or herdsman?
Oh, that was done, and we did mention that earlier. When the attack that was carried out in Logo was done, in the course of the operation, one of the attackers suspected to be an herdsman who had resisted, engaged the police operatives in a gun battle. He died in the process, and the AK-47 that he carried was recovered.
Okay. Do you have an idea where he got the AK-47? And if he bought it, how much was he able to buy?
That is where the technical asset of the police is being deployed, because the fellow from who AK-47 was recovered died in the course of that operation. But some useful evidence were gotten, like the telephone, which the technical unit of the police is already looking at. And of course, in the process of that, we've been able to get 4 persons arrested through the IG's intelligence response team. It is the technical input to the investigation that has led to the arrest of that 4. And we keep on expanding on that until we get more and more, and who are sponsoring them, and where are they getting this weapon for. You would also notice, if you look, this state is one of the states where you have weapon proliferated, where you even have weapons locally manufactured. There are some states that have highest number of that. Aside from the herdsmen farmers clashes, lots of weapons were recovered. Just yesterday, yesterday, we displayed 3 AK-47 that were recovered. This morning, about 30 minutes ago, 2 locally manufactured AK-47 were just recovered in Zakibiam houses. And we continue in that effort to ensure that we're able to mop up all these illegally acquired weapons as much as possible.
All right, Commissioner, let me ask you this, because in the heat of this, there will be, as a matter of fact, a lot of misconception out there. For instance, there are those who have told us, which I've also seen, where a secured landed property is broken into, and then maybe because it's been abandoned for a while, and then people go in and graze there. And then they also say that, look, sometimes they just carve out a radius and then don't want to see anyone come close. So the impression people have is that people don't want the herders to graze, which some think it may be erroneous. Are you having any conversation at the police command with the herders, farmers, on how to work things out so that, yes, you can graze or do certain things, but they need to ensure that they live peaceably and work amicably among themselves? Are you there, Commissioner?
Yes, I can hear you. Different stakeholders meeting had been held with the DIG operations on ground. We had an interactive meeting with the headers, that is the Pardos, the Mieti Ella Katauri. We went as far as to go to Lafia in Nasarawa State because of the apprehension that if they come to Makodi, they would be arrested, to educate them on this law. And of course, the farmers themselves too, with the traditional rulers and the local government chairmen, we also have interaction with them here. A lot of education need to be carried out. For example, we have an interactive workshop that will be held with all the chairmen of the local government, officials of the Ministry of Justice tomorrow. There are provisions of that law that it seems are not being really spelled out very well for people to understand. The law provided that ranching permit can be issued for people who want to graze. Nobody is propagating this, and that is why we are working with all the segments of the society, the herders, the farmers, for them to know what it is. For the farmers to know that you cannot take law to his hands, like the incident happened on Monday. It was an escalation of what had happened on Sunday, where some herders were reportedly attacked and 2 of them were killed. So we've been interacting with the stakeholders with regards to this on the understanding of the law. It is necessary for them to understand it. But the Benue State is not asking herders to leave the state. That they're saying that, look, if you want to do livestock farming, apply, we give ranching permits. Citizens, indigenous of the state, indigenous herdsmen are also even giving certain exemption in the law with regards to acquiring of ranching permits. These are provisions of that law that it seems nobody is propagating, and the police is taking the lead with a view to propagate this and for everybody to know that there are some things that are available. There are some provisions available in the law that they can take advantage of with a view to do their livestock farming without any fear of molestation and without destroying anybody's crops.
All right, Mr. Fatai Owoseni, Commissioner of Police, Benue State Command, we thank you for talking to us this morning. Let me ask you, there's this theory, conspiracy, if you will, where there's something, look, they may just be, or some persons may be waiting to see if they could push the people in Benue to take arms, take laws into their hands, and then probably, who knows, declare state of emergency. Do you think anything is probable?
Anything is probable in these circumstances, but like the commissioner said, people should not take laws into their own hands, because if it goes that way, there'll be more bloodshed. Innocent citizens will die. So I don't think it's a way out.
All right, we need to anchor at that point. Shegun David is the CEO of Cromex Security. and also retired British Army personnel. Thank you for coming on this morning as well.
Thank you very much.
So there you go. That's the segment this morning. Not the show, because we will be back in a moment. Join us again.